It was a busy Saturday night with orders coming in for Back 40 Mini Firewood, which I am very grateful for and very thankful that today it allowed me the opportunity to come down here into the fulfillment center instead of being outside in the 100-degree heat. But one of the things I have to do now is put together one of the mini firewood racks. So these little firewood racks are very popular, and I am now offering them with the option to have wood inside the rack shipped all together. But one of the things when I first started out with these racks, I wasn't sure if I was going to ship them unassembled in the 6 pieces that are required to put it together, or if I was going to put it together and then ship it all fully assembled, ready to go. So I needed to put a few pictures on the website, and I also wanted to just put a couple together to have out on the Tiki Bar for Friday Night Live. And in doing that, I realized that sometimes these little racks, it's not the easiest thing to put together. I mean, it's simple, it's not very complex. They are made to where the slots are fairly tight so that it's not, the pieces don't like slide apart and fall apart. So it does require a little, I guess, or it can be, it's not as easy sometimes as it looks. So from that day on, I decided that what I wanted to do was offer these fully assembled. And so the question kind of comes to mind sometimes when you're running a small business, and I know as a hobbyist, I'm probably not the one to be giving any business advice, but if you think about, whose time is more valuable? Your time as a business owner or your customer's time? And in a case like this, I just determined that it was more valuable for my customer's time was more valuable than mine. So therefore, I was going to take the time, put in the extra time to assemble these firewood racks and then ship them fully assembled so that way the customer can open the box, take it out, undo the wrap, and it's ready to go. So instead of saving myself the time, because it would be very easy to just package this all up and ship it out in 6 pieces. Quick, easy, out the door. But I decided that it was better to put in a little extra time on my end to save the customer a little time on their end. So therefore, in my opinion, when it comes to something like this, the customer's time is more valuable than my time. And I've never really been a fan of that some assembly required, because sometimes that assembly is a little bit more tricky than what it appears to be, which is the case with these. So let's put this thing together and I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, so what I always do is I always use a box to kind of hold one side of the stand up, and then I take the other side. Well, first I'll lay out my side slots like this. And the one thing is, I'm not sure if this is going to be able to pick up or not, but this steel, one side is a little shinier than the other side. So what I try to do is I always try to get all of the shiny sides going in, like for these sides, I'll have these all facing the same way, and then with the racks, I'll have the shiny side all facing the same way. So that way, if you wanted to display it, you could either display the shiny side or not so shiny side. But anyway, so I've got the one side holding up with the box, and then what I do is I kind of take these 2 pieces and I kind of get them started. And like I said, this is where it can kind of get to be a little tricky, because then you got to line this up and slide it all together. See this, I just put this side in a little too quick. Like I said, sometimes it's a piece of cake and sometimes it's a little tricky. But that's where I need my rubber mallet. Pound those in. Sorry if that was a little loud, but so once those get kind of held in place, then these bottom ones go in. And again, these might need a little tap. I keep this little wooden block here. Tap that in. Tap that in. Make sure all those sides are locked in. And once it's together, it's nice and sturdy. And like I said, these were made so that these side slots don't just easily slide up and down. So that way it won't like fall apart real easy if you pick it up or anything. But so there you go. That little bit of time to me is worth spending, as opposed to having the potential of a customer struggle putting that together, because they might not have a rubber mallet, you know, to pound those things down. They might get the sides a little cockeyed, like what I kind of was going through, and instead of having it become a frustrating task for them, I just think it's easier to put it together like this, and then when they get it, it's all ready to go. All right, so like I mentioned, this customer ordered their mini firewood rack with the wood included. So I'm going to go ahead and get this thing loaded up with wood, and then we'll wrap it up. All right, the mini firewood rack is loaded up, ready to go. I do have to watch that I keep this from not going too high on the top so that it will fit in the box, but that looks good. And I know when you were watching that time lapse of this thing getting loaded up, I know you were saying, gosh, that looks like a lot of fun. So if you were thinking that and you want to get yourself the mini firewood rack, also known as the Anxiety Wood Rack, the link will be down in the description. So now what I need to do is I need to wrap this thing up so that it will stay together when it gets put into the box. So here's another example of where I could, in the box, just put a bunch of the loose wood and the pieces of the wrap, or the rack, the wrap. But I think for the customer to get this like this, it is far better. And now I'll just go around it a few times this way. So I hold it all together. And that should be ready to go. The other interesting thing that I found and discovered is that shipping the rack broken down in individual pieces, unassembled in like a padded envelope, costs the same amount as putting it in this box and shipping it like that. So that is why I decided, that was another factor why I decided to just put this together and ship it assembled. And there we go. The mini firewood rack with wood, assembled, stacked with the wood, ready to go for the customer to open up and have it all set, ready to just put out on their tabletop next to their tabletop fire pit. Okay, so there are all the orders ready to go. We got the mini firewood rack with the wood on top. Then we had a box of oak. I had a Flames of the Northwoods. I had 2 of those, the Flames of the Northwoods mix. Then a box of cherry, and then a box of the Pick Your Mix with birch, cherry, and maple right there. So just a little something to think about, you know, whose time is more valuable? If you are in business, is it your customer's time or your time? And in this case today, I'm grateful that I am putting my customer's time ahead of my time, because I would rather spend more time down here where it's nice and cool than outside where it is scorching hot. But that'll do it. Everything's ready to go. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Stay safe, have fun, and be cool. I've been a real bad boy on the town.
on it.